Welcome back to the Figure Kit Garage, fellow resin heads and kit builders. Brent Krug back with more out-of-the-box reviews. The three kits that you see in front of you, matter of fact, it's going to be a double review, but the three kits that you see in front of you are sculpted by a guy that I've had the pleasure of meeting repeatedly at Monsterpalooza at both Burbank and Pasadena, a gentleman by the name of Gabriel Garcia. Gabriel Garcia is a Southern California sculptor who, like me and Virginia, is a part of the Alternate Universe Model Builders Club. And he's been a staple at Monsterpalooza for quite a few years now. And he originally started with 1/6 scale custom heads. And this is one of the ones that my stepdaughter bought back in 2018. I believe he started off with these. He may have done other larger pieces as well. But this is his custom 1/6 Pennywise for a do-it-yourself 12-inch figure. Gabriel's got a hell of a talent when it comes to sculpting. And this shows. He has other different types of 1/6 scale heads, zombies, creepy clowns, you name it, he's got it. If you saw his table at Monsterpalooza in the video I did earlier this week, I took some good footage of the stuff that he had. The 1/6 scale heads weren't it. He also had quite a few other large-sized busts, including some of the newest ones that he unveiled at the show, as well as what looked to be chibi-style figures, and quite a few other things. But the figures in the bags in front of you are the focus of tonight's review. These three original characters debuted at Monsterpalooza the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of this month. And Virginia and I saw these posted on Facebook, and they're incredible. It shows off Gabriel's talent for original creations and sculpting combined. I can't say enough about it. And not to mention the fact Gabriel's one hell of a nice guy. One of the nicest guys you'll meet at that show. So we're going to start off with the kit that Virginia picked. And the prices on these kits were really reasonable. I cannot deny that. Now this little lady is a sea creature of sorts, and her name is Gilly. And Gilly was $40 at the show. I'll bring this back in so it doesn't... Just a little cutie. Absolutely adorable. Some seam lines to clean up from the molding process, but just an absolutely adorable little creature. Her little body. Yep, she got a tiny little body. And the part fit for these kits, I'm not going to lie to you, is absolutely perfect. No problems whatsoever. Her little right paw, very nicely done. Cleanup on these will not be that much of a problem. Little left foot. Little right foot. And her left hand. So 6 pieces overall comprise this kit. And I'm going to do a quick test fit, and I don't need to use any of my Quake Putty in any way, shape, or form because these parts go together really, really well. And the balance is absolutely perfect. No problem with potential falling over. The arms are slightly posable, so you can figure out how you want to pose them, either further up or further down. You know, just absolutely cute little figure. And then the head will go on like so. And there's Gilly. I'll bring her a little bit closer. Just a wonderful, original little creation from Gabriel. You can't say enough about it. You really can't. Fully built. This little one will measure right at 4 inches tall at the highest point. And with a small footprint, you can't argue with it. So, that is Gilly from Gabriel Garcia. Wonderful little creation. So, I'll disassemble her. I hope everybody has enjoyed their weekend. Hope you're staying cool and out of the heat, depending on what part of the country you're living in. But then again, I guess everybody's getting it, as we are. Hopefully there'll be an end to high gas prices, i.e. bend over at the pump. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. The next kit from Gabe is called Rata. He is 6 pieces. It was $60. And this is just a funny little guy. I'm not sure where Gabe came up with the idea for this one, but I can't deny it. He looks really cool. I have a furry little reptile rat combination. Big grin on his face. And Gabriel's scale detail around the back of the head and the ears. Really, really beautifully done. Moderate amount of cleanup. Not too bad. And I got to admit, when I test fitted this thing for the very first time, I was surprised that the concealment of where the arms and the legs and the tail fit in, there was almost the most minor amount of putty work you could ever ask for. Let's get that back over here. Sorry about the camera shake. And again, really amazing work by Gabe. Sorry about the camera flare with this resin being so white. It's kind of hard to have it not. We'll get him test fitted so you can see what he looks like complete. Like I said, part fit, incredibly easy, and very well disguised by the way the fur has been sculpted and ultimately cast. All you have to do is just glue it and go. No putty work whatsoever. There's all that fur hanging around. And I just dropped the foot. Thankfully, nothing broke. And just like with the feet, no putty work needed whatsoever. We might have to sand that down a little bit to get that fitting even more, but again, really, really well. It's well engineered. I give Gabe that. It is very, very well engineered. And then his tail is the exact same way. Oops. Plugs in just like so. Quit bumping the camera. And here we have Rata. Gabe, I hope I said that right. So this is another one. Great creation from Gabe. All original. Painting options are beyond endless. Just fun, unique creations from Gabe's mind, and it works. It absolutely works. He had so many available. different busts and little figures like this. It was kind of hard to pass up any of the other ones, but I'm sure later on down the line, the temptation's there. I'll wind up getting them. And if I don't, Virginia will. But of course, that's my opinion. Again, I could be wrong. Nah, probably not. So, that's 2 of 3 kits reviewed. And now we are going to look at the biggest of the 3. And this is called the Brute. Now, the Brute is a 3-piece kit. Retail for $100 at the show. The base itself is in 2 pieces, and this guy is so big and so weighty that I'm going to literally have to pin the base pieces together. I'm not going to be able to fully assemble him on camera. The amount of detail that Gabe got into this guy is absolutely staggering. If you can see that on camera, Gabe's skin texture sculpting is absolutely gorgeous. The vein work on the upper parts of the traps, right around the neck, the teeth, the nose, and then the horn coming up right up off the forehead. Just absolutely gorgeous in its rendering and the way he sculpted it. And yeah, there is cleanup, mold lines that are going to have to be dealt with, and I'll probably have to re-etch some of the texture back in. But for all that, the amount of detail that Gabe captured in this piece alone is mind-boggling. I mean, I don't even want to know where he came up with this idea, because this is... guy's frightening. I mean, that big of a horn, those ears, and then that row. Look at them chompers, will you? And then he will sit on the base like so. He doesn't even want to cooperate. But that is The Brute by Gabriel Garcia. I hope that Gabriel did excellent with these pieces at the show and wherever else he offers them. Like I said, Gabriel's sculpting is absolutely amazing. And I really do wish him the best of luck with these new figures that he unveiled. I'll leave contact information for Gabriel, Instagram, Facebook. He does not have a website per se. But if you're at Monsterpalooza or the fall show, which is Son of Monsterpalooza, if you see Gabriel Garcia listed on the dealer's list, stop by his table, because it is well worth checking out what he has available. As you can see by this guy, I don't think Gabe's talent has a limit. If he's just getting started, I can't wait to see what else is coming. But he's been in this for a while, and honestly, I think he's got a lot more in him. He just ain't telling the rest of us. Are you, Gabe? So that is Rata, the Brute, and Gilly from Gabriel Garcia Studios. Contact him if you're interested in any of these kits, or you want to find out what other figures or custom 1/6 scale heads he has available. Like I said, hell of a nice guy, real easy to deal with, real easy to get along with and talk to. Gabriel, I wish you all the best with these. I really, really do. So, folks, I'm going to take a slight pause for the cause, and when I come back, we are going to see a new creation by Mark Newman of Mark Newman Sculpture, the same guy that sculpted the Moon Singer, what I would consider one of the most beautiful werewolf kits ever done way back in the early 1990s. So stick around, and we will be right back with Shelldon. All right, we're back. And on the table in front of you is one of the newest creations from Mark Newman, a gentleman that I got to finally meet at Monsterpalooza. And he's somebody that, if you have or have had his kits, such as the Moon Singer or Neanderthal, and several of the other ones that he's done in the past, you know Mark Newman's work. And it speaks for itself, honestly. Got the chance to talk to him both on and off camera, and Mark was a hell of a nice guy. Wonderful to get to meet him. And this little guy, he had two different sizes, large and small. The small version, if I recall correctly, was a little over $100, or right at the $100 range. He had a much larger version. But Mark has gotten into the digital sculpting arena. If you've seen the Graveyard Werewolf 3D printed resin kit, or I believe it's 3D printed but traditionally molded and cast, that Graveyard Werewolf is the creation of Mark Newman. And he actually had a fully built version of it there, and he also had an unbuilt still in the box. And it was amazing to see what this guy has come up with from the early 90s until now. He had a lot of his own personal private paint-ups for sale. Believe me, I wanted that Moon Singer so bad I wanted to scream. But price was just a little bit out of my range. But this guy wasn't. Shelldon is a tortoise-based creation. I'm not exactly sure what his backstory is, to be honest. But I really didn't care because it struck me as something that hadn't tried before. Everybody's, you get all these folks that paint Ninja Turtles. Well, he's not a Ninja Turtle, but I could come up with something pretty cool. This is the base for Shelldon. Mud texture, or I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I'm not even sure what that is, to be brutally honest. Little epoxy sculpt, it'll go away. Oh, wow. It's the first time I'd noticed that. Mark Newman's signature on a little plate on the back. Very nice touch. Oh, like I said, I didn't even know that was there. Had this thing since the 5th, and I had absolutely no clue. Little pockmark holes. I'm assuming this is dirt or some type of soil or sand. And Mark Newman's signature right on the bottom. I'll take a look at these 3 pieces. I'm going to have to pin or magnetize all of them. The shell and body detail that Mark got into this is absolutely gorgeous. If any of you have ever had or know somebody that has an African sulcata or some type of tortoise or turtle, you know how detailed and lined and textured their shells are. And Mark went to great lengths to replicate that in every way possible, even in a 3-dimensional sculpt. He got every last bit of texture he could into this piece. And it's just absolutely phenomenal what he did with this. We have an African sulcata in the house. I've actually thought about basing this part of the shell on what hers is. And I was just staggered by how well this, translated from 3D print to traditional cast. And the parts fit is really, really nice. And then there's the head. And again, all of the skin, regardless of where you run your fingers, there is texture over every single millimeter of this guy's head. And again, as with Moon Singer and Neanderthal, Mark has proven that he is one hell of a capable sculptor in the digital arena. So my hat's off to Mark Newman for coming up with this creation. I really love it. It's something new and original, and I just couldn't actually stop thinking about it once I saw it. I'm like, God, I got to go back and get that. But the parts fit flawless. May have to, I think there was a little bit I'll have to trim, yeah, right back here, just to even that up, magnetize that, no putty work, and that's it. And Shelldon, sorry about the camera bump, comes in at just over 6 3/4 inches tall. That is an amazing footprint for such a creature. Just looks so peaceful and tranquil, looking out of his shell at the world, whatever world he's from. Even little cracks in the tops of the shell. This thing is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it washes, dry brushing. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one to do. It really, really is. And I do apologize for earlier not getting the height on the Brute and La Rata. I'll have to bring them back out and measure them so you guys can see how big they are. But this is Shelldon from Mark Newman. An absolutely amazing creation. Would fit in with whatever Ninja Turtles or other alien creatures you could have on your shelf for display. Mark, congratulations on this one. Really beautifully done. And I'm going to put him off to the side. I'll have him sit with my in-progress Blackheart Chekhov, jamming out on my M90 Mini over here. Trust me, I wish I could listen to music, but I get hit with a copyright. So many copyright strikes, it'd be stupid. Now I'm trying to enjoy the last hours of my days off, of which this is my last day off. Back to work, unfortunately. So we're gonna measure this guy, and the Brute comes in at the highest point right around 8 1/8 inches tall. So not too bad height wise, definitely not that bad width wise. Not a shelf hog for sure. Just make sure your shelves are reinforced because he is a heavy boy. I will not deny that. Rata, I'm just going to put his feet on him and get an idea how big he is. And this guy comes in at just a little over 4 1/4 inches in height. So all in all of these kits, from Gilly to the Brute to La Rata to Shelldon, they're not shelf hogs in any way, shape, or form. And if painted up, you know, the right way, they'll all make fantastic additions to your collection. La Rata, Gilly, and the, well, maybe not necessarily the Brute, but even a kit like Shelldon, I could recommend these kits for first timers getting into the hobby, just as much as I would kits like the Blackheart Micromania busts. stuff like this, yeah, even though it's really, really ultimately detailed, this is the perfect kind of kit for someone to get started on in the hobby and fall in love with it. Because if you have something like this in your collection and you finish it up and you see it, you're going to want to do it more. And I hope he comes up with more versions of this type, because I would love to get like a whole set. So for these reviews of Rata, Gilly, and the Brute from Gabriel Garcia Studios, and Shelldon from Mark Newman Sculpture, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. This has been the Figure Kit Garage. Build a kit.